what peak trans is. Peak trans is the term that we've got for when a person basically wakes up to and like realizes that the TRA movement and gender identity politics aren't all that they're making themselves out to be. Like the reality is not what the propaganda would suggest. And once you sort of realise that and then start questioning it, that, my friend, is when you've hit peak trans. So for me personally, like my peak trans story came about. Came about over the course of about a week and a half, and it was three separate things that were major contributors. The first one was being kicked off a Facebook feminist group for saying that I didn't see why discussing pregnancy in a feminist forum was transphobic. And yeah, I mean, it escalated a bit because I wouldn't back down and sort of, you know, succumb to my little, you know, gender identifarian overlords, and, you know, oh, I'm sorry, oh yeah, whatever you say, I was wrong, you know. I stood my ground, which ended up in me getting kicked off the group and banned. But anyways, so that was the first thing. The second thing was the Speaker's Corner incident, the Speaker's Corner assault, where a couple of trans activists assaulted a feminist, Maria McLaughlin, who was just going into a gender critical lecture, discussing, you know, the negative impacts or positive impacts on women's rights of the Gender Recognition Act. I saw the footage. You can see it plain as day. There'll be a link in the description. But what spun me out was that no one on that side, on that camp, was calling it out. None of them. They were rationalising it and justifying this, like, violence against women, and none of them were calling the dude out that assaulted Maria, you know. And that just, it spun me, it blew my mind, to be honest. And then after that, it was, I'd already found a couple of radical feminist groups on Facebook and stuff, but one of the people in one of those groups put me onto Magdalen Berns. And so the third thing was being put onto Magdalen Berns and just watching her videos, and that's when I went, oh, my God. So she is amazing. Like, I mean, her videos are phenomenal. They changed my life. And I'll put some links to some of my favourite ones in the description. But she's well worth a checking out. If you haven't heard of her, do yourself a favour, you know. So those three things were basically what led to me to just going, what the fuck, you know, for 3 days. Just, what the fuck, is this real? What the fuck, you know? It blew my mind. And I've been just, it gets, and what can I say, you know, like, once you hit peak trans, it really does get worse every fucking week. I've said it before, I'll say it again, every fucking week. You know, you get to the point where you don't even think you can be surprised anymore. But then, you know, I thought I was at that point, and then something new came up last week and surprised the shit out of me, just blew my mind again. But anyways, and yeah, so once you hit peak trans, it's basically when the light goes on, you see it for what it is, you start questioning it. My friend, you have hit peak trans.